Hello everyone, welcome back to Artful Holidays, 12 days of festive fun, and I got an idea for us that I thought maybe I would try. So I've got my Faber-Castell markers out, and these are the watercolor markers. I don't pull them out nearly enough. I'm kind of thinking, what if we do one of these holiday creative art recipes that I gave you earlier. So go check out the earlier videos if you haven't grabbed the holiday recipes for art. And I was thinking that we could do a recipe but change it into something that, you know, actually works for us, like whatever your style of creating really is. And I was thinking that I would take a recipe as an idea starting point. So I liked this snowflakes layers, and it says materials white and blue markers, which immediately I thought, ooh, I should get these markers out that I never use. Watercolor wash, thick paper. So I've got my Hahnemuhle watercolor, cold pressed watercolor paper. I've got a piece of this taped down, and I actually taped it into thirds so we could kind of do something fun on the taller, skinnier look. And so the process is paint a light blue watercolor wash. Once dry, add snowflake doodles in layers with markers, and then tip, mix snowflake shapes and sizes for depth. Okay, so I'm starting with the recipe, but kind of jumping off of that and doing my own take on it. So I'm almost thinking this is where this idea jumped to for me. This yummy stencil that I've managed to stick back into the wrong package, but it's one of those Tim Holtz layering stencils that's got these little swashes on them. And it says it's THS 148 is the number of the stencil. So it's a Tim Holtz stencil, collection stencil. And I was kind of thinking, what if we did that with the watercolor marker underneath? And I just was looking at the colors that I got here. And then what if we did like stencil butter through the stencil on top of that? Maybe strategically. It doesn't even have to be like the whole thing. It may completely fail because I've never actually played with the stencil butter, but I thought perfect opportunity to get these out. And then even though I got, it said blue and white, I could do like 3 different colors to see like what would really be cool. So we could do like a blue green. And I say that because I looked over here to the brighter pink oranges and got excited because I kind of like those colors. We could throw a light one in there, so that could be one. I could do this one as one, and then we could pick another set of colors, say like those 3, and we could have 3 different looks. So you see how I can use the recipe cards to kind of jump off into an idea that might work for me. I like using things as inspiration because that was not what I had intended to start with or go today. I could even do some, let's do them. Okay, so these are the watercolor markers. Let's just jump in and get started. And what I like about these is they're 2-sided. Oh yeah, I want the bigger side. And we can kind of color an abstract here, and then we can come back with water and mix these up with the water. So I'm just giving it a play, and I'm getting the fat brush end here. Ooh, that's a gray. More gray than I even expected there. And then keep in mind, we can mark, make, and stencil on top of that. I'm just going to grab my Neptune brushes, just the big square one in there, the Aquarelle 3/4 inch, because these hold a lot of water. And I'm going to go ahead and let these start kind of doing their thing and moving around. And these are my favorite watercolor markers. They really do a good job of not having like pen marks and stuff when you're done. Like, you really almost can't even tell these were markers after you've done some of this. I do like getting each color wet kind of separately. I don't want the water on the next one yet. Yeah, so they're fantastic. They blend right in, and they kind of look like they were watercolors when they were done. You don't really tell they were markers, as long as you don't leave like a big marker splash there. Yeah, so these are like the coolest watercolor markers I've ever tried. I love them. Like, it doesn't leave marker lines or nothing. Okay, so let's do the next one. I like the fat end. Let's get the fat ends out. There we go. And get it ready. Skinny end. And these are a little darker than you would anticipate too, as far as a watercolor. Like, they're like really dark. So keep that in mind. Whoa, that was not what I expected out of that color. How about you? That did not that did not look like that color. Where did that come from? What? Alright, I guess if we mix it in, it kind of is that color, but that definitely is not that color. That's a false one. Giving me a false reading. Alright, here we go. And more than anything, I was just getting big swashes of color. Not really anything specific, because I want to layer on top of it, so I'm good with that. Okay, that color was crazy. That was not at all what I expected. Let's get that water off of there. Okay. Now I'm even thinking other stencils. You know, sometimes I get an idea and I tell you that idea first, and then I get another idea as I'm going. Now I'm even thinking other stencils, but layered in the gold, kind of like we did in an earlier project when I was doing a lot of Klimt things, and we did the color underneath and this big gold stencil on top. I still love that project, and I'm kind of thinking like one of these would be pretty with the gold on the top, and not the stencil paste necessarily. So maybe 3 different abstract ideas here. I feel like I missed the edge on that one. Alright, we're going to let that kind of do its thing. This one got some bubbles in it. I must have, I don't know, got too excited there on that one. Alright, let's dry these, and then we'll be ready. The only thing I worry about with the stencil butter, and we'll just go ahead and try it on one of these, is it's so thick that we'll be having to wait for that to dry for a while. But, well, and this stencil is not quite the height of our square. That's okay. Let's just... So I'm just using a palette knife to put these on to experiment with this, because I want to use it like a molding paste. I want it to be 3-dimensional when I'm done, which is what's going to make it take a long time to dry. And then I'm even thinking it doesn't have to be the whole way, or does it? Does it need to be the whole way? Like what are we thinking? Paper's still a little bit warped from all the water. See, maybe if we stop it there when it didn't go all the way down. Okay, I don't know if this is going to work or not. It may be a big fat fail. Whoa! Ooh! Oh! Okay, that looks pretty darn cool. And I kind of like that it went down and then didn't continue, And I almost need, we're just going to leave it like that for now. Okay, let me go wash this off. Actually, let me just put this on the side here. And we could probably just baby wipe that off so that all that stencil butter does not dry on our stencil. So I don't normally clean my stencils off, but if I'm using molding paste or something like this thick stuff, I'm definitely going to get most of it off so that I don't end up with areas that are no longer basically usable. There we go. So baby wipes are good if you are in a situation where you don't want to quite get up, and then clean off our little palette paper and we can keep using it. So stencil butter. That was Dune stencil butter, and that's pretty cool. It wasn't perfect, but it's still kind of cool. And so, all right, we'll go with that. That was interesting. Interesting experiments. I'm almost thinking once that dry, we can do some mark making or some dots or some who knows what else. Okay, so I was kind of thinking on these gold on top of it, and not necessarily the same stencil, so we could do something. Let's see what we got here. Just giving you some fun ideas. Okay, so I've pulled out some other stencils. This one, I really wanted this for one of the other projects, one where we do the ornaments on a page, and I couldn't find it. And then here it is. So this is a Stencil Girl product stencil, and it does not have a name on it. Why do they do that? I don't know where I got it from. It's from Stencil Girl, and I don't even know what that shape will be called. How crazy. So I put out a little bit of paint, yellow ochre, yellow oxide, and orange deep, and I thought, what if we do some shaped ornaments, and I've just mixed the colors on the sponge so that we get a cool ornament when we're done. And we can put another one of these down here. And I'm trying my best not to mess that one up because it's a not dry. Trying my darndest. Okay, so that I'm thinking we can mark make on top when that dries. And I do have a lot of paint on this, so I might do my little baby white trick and get some of the paint off. And then the rest of it will dry. And that's fine. Alright, so that's my idea on the second one. We're going to mark make on that in a minute. And that's the coolest stencil ever, without a freaking name on it. Sorry that it doesn't have a name on it, and it wasn't in a package, so I don't remember if it was Stencil Club or if it was one that I found that I liked, but I love it. So might look up like Moroccan shapes or ornament shapes or whatever shape that is on Stencil Girl. That's where that came from. So over here, I'm kind of thinking this thing. Look at here, this thing here. Where'd I get this? Please have a name on it. Here we go. This is the Crafter's Workshop 2114, but look at that lovely little diamond design. So I was kind of thinking that we could do some pattern underneath, maybe this one, and then this on top of whatever it is with gold. Okay, I'm feeling that. So let's just come on in here with the paint I already got out and just start making some pattern. That's pretty. Alright, that's really pretty actually. And I've got some diamond here, so I'm kind of thinking maybe a little bit of this diamond overlapping with maybe some orange. totally moving a little away from Christmas with some of these, but that's okay. I like that. Another row up there. Okay, I like that. Then I'm thinking this in the gold, so let me let that dry for a second. All right, here we go. Let's get some gold. Let's get my favorite gold. Let's get this out of the way. This is the Kuretake Gold Mica Paste. It is the goldiest gold, but you can use any of the golds. If you've got any of the golden ones, any of those. I like those too. You see me use those a lot. All right, I'm filling it. Might be a little bit of wet paint underneath, but I hope not. We'll see. Ooh, that's fun. We can line these back up. These got like a little dot on them that help you kind of line it back up, or at least that's what I think that's for. And then you can kind of continue that pattern on. Alright, I like that. That's fun. Kind of want that over here. That's okay. Now, I'm thinking that we could fill in with mark making or dots or lines or anything that you've kind of inspired for there. Let's get this out of the way. Maybe grab... It might be fun to have some gold dots. Could have been white dots. White dots would have pulled some white back in, because right now it's a little dark, but I kind of like it. Yeah, I kind of like it. So on this one, I'm thinking we could do like we did on another one. And I got some white. Let's do some. Put that on the... Yeah, I was kind of thinking of these as quick little 5-minute abstracts. Totally went a little bit different with these, making them a little more detailed, but you can make these 5-minute abstracts if you'd like. I kind of just wanted to have a little fun with the different patterns and ideas that I was coming up with. And I really didn't intend it to be like a super long paint day. But I will say the gold Copic Acrea, I think it might be definitely a favorite gold for me in place of the other gold for a marker. It does a great job. This is my Signo Uniball pen. I like it. I do think it might be my favorite white since it actually works when I want it to work. And then, is there anything else I want to add on here? I kind of feel like it needs some gold. What do you think? How about some punchinella? I love punchinella. Or how about this little swirl in the gold? Because I do like this little swirl over here. I could come over here and swirl some of this in here just because. And I still got this out just to play. That's very different. Might not have been what I intended, but we're going for it. Just a little shine out on the side is basically what that's going to give me. All right, that's kind of cool. All right, let's see where we're at today. Well, these are short little abstracts that just turned a lot longer, but we did have fun experimenting and trying out lots of supplies, and by using our recipe card, starting with markers that I never would have started, I never would have done. So, a little recipe fun there. Let's just see when we peel this if we even like them. And that's kind of how I'm going to use the recipes. They're going to either be little samplers that I could test out materials I've never tried, like little squares, or little abstracts that I can kind of jump off from the idea and see where that inspiration leads me. Look how pretty they are when you peel the tape. Peeling the tape is the bomb. It just kind of makes everything look finished. Super fun. Now I'm going to cut these apart when I'm sure that they're dry because I'm afraid to touch this one. But that's super fun. Okay, so how fun was that using our recipe as a jumping off point to do some abstracts. I wanted them to be kind of fast. They weren't as fast as I was intending, but look how fun that is with the gold on it. Hope you enjoyed painting with me today. Definitely grab the creative holiday art recipes from the earlier day where I introduced these and gave you the download, and just see how can you use that as a jumping off point for something that you can create. And I hope you have fun, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.